travelers, to your referral roadmap. This podcast is dedicated to helping you unleash your personal and business revenue potential by cultivating referral relationships. In this 10-part series, we've been diving into the dynamic realm of prospecting. We'll be exploring how prospecting in business can be a key driver of success, offering insights and strategies to master this essential skill to build your own referral-based business. Today, we're going to be talking about resilience in rejection, how to stay persistent and prevail in sales. So, Athena, I'm going to redefine prospecting, but man, this one's a big one. So, for our travelers who haven't been on the road with us this far, we are on episode 10 of this season. Can you believe it, Athena? Yay! It is wild. So, as our last episode, I'm going to redefine prospecting, but would also encourage you travelers to go back and listen to the entire season. We've had some fantastic guests this season. They have given us multiple nuggets of knowledge and lots of mic drop moments. So you don't want to miss them. Go back and listen if you haven't yet. But if you're finding yourself here for the first time this season, prospecting are the behaviors and activities that you execute, creating referrals and or leads that result in revenue for you or your company. Or as Athena likes to call it, making it rain. So Athena, take it away with your story.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to get a little bit personal today about this rejection, because I wanted to share with you guys the single most rejection moment I've had professionally. And it is one of those moments, Jada, that I will never forget. It was life-changing, life-altering. I'm actually giving a speech to a group of women in a couple of weeks. And I am using this story to talk about how this story helped me understand that confidence comes from inside, not outside. And, but I want you guys, I'm going to paint a picture for you. Years ago, I was headhunted by HSBC, a big national bank, and actually worldwide bank. And they had a branch that was failing, and no one in the company wanted this branch because it was failing, right? And so nobody wanted that. And so they recruited me and they brought me in as a manager. Now, here's the thing. They didn't do that. In that company, at that point in time, I was the only person they had ever recruited and gave a management position. The company philosophy was always that you came in and you had to work your way up. And frankly, after doing it, it was wise that they did that because there was so much to learn. And, but in this particular situation, they did recruit me and they said, look, nobody wants this. We've heard a lot of things about you. And some of their top salespeople had worked for me and they came looking and said, you know, we need you. So I was nervous and scared. It was a new industry. I already knew the branch was struggling. And I had confidence in myself, Jada, that I could fix it, that I could do this. But, you know, I was nervous. And so the very first day I show up and we're having a district-wide meeting and there's all gentlemen in the room. And they were not friendly at all. And my boss had to get up to take a phone call. So I was in this boardroom. And in this boardroom, they were not shy about it. They actually spoke up and said, you don't deserve to be in this room because you didn't have to work your way up like we did. You will fail. We will not help you. We're not going to help you. We are going to show you everyone that this experiment, I should say, isn't going to work. And I was absolutely rejected by them. They let me know not only did they not care about my success, but that I didn't belong. And I let them know that I would win with or without them. But here's the thing. I went back to my hotel that night and I cried myself to sleep. And when I went into work the next day, for over 30 days, they told everyone to not do lunch with me, not talk to me, not do anything. for 30 days. And I was in a hotel, and they didn't make it easy at all. And I was learning. That 30 days was 30 days of the hardest professional time, because I went every day understanding no one wanted me there. But here's what I want you guys to hear. I didn't give up. I did cry. It did hurt. It hurt so much I'll never forget it. But what I did is I didn't get snarky. I didn't let them see me cry. I gave it my best. I was the first one in every day, last one to leave. And I was determined to prove them wrong. And I did. I took that rejection and I used it as fuel to make me so inspired by myself to be successful and to find ways around them to be successful. And by the way, how that story ends is that branch became successful. We won Team of the Year, and those men in that room respect me even today. I'm sorry, getting choked up. Yep. So I want you guys to understand rejection happens and it hurts. I'm not going to say it doesn't hurt. What I want is what do we got to do with it? How do we use it as fuel to help us feel confident in ourselves? I will say this, Jada, there's nothing that can put me up against a wall that I know now, I know I'll get past it because of those 30 days.
What an experience. Wow.
Oh, it was so, woo, it was hard. Anyway, but tell us some facts and figures before I cry.
Well, today the facts and figures look a little bit different than they usually do. I don't have any statistics, but I did want to read some stories of some other highly successful individuals that were basically told you should just quit while you're down,
Right?
So,
give up, right?
Give up.
But we don't give up.
We don't give up.
We don't give up.
But just to provide a little bit more hope for anyone that is feeling like they are being told, you shouldn't do this, you can't do this, whatever it is, I wanted to share some other stories of hope. So Van Gogh, he is now one of the most well-known, most impressionist painters. It's hard to imagine that he was not widely appreciated during his lifetime, because Van Gogh only started painting when he was 27 years old. And during his time, he didn't enjoy fame and notoriety like other famous artists, and he struggled to make a living from his paintings.
Wow.
And I think everyone knows the name Van Gogh. There are art exhibits around the nation, I'm sure around the world, honestly. I just know that I've seen them pop up in my own neck of the woods. And so he is very widely known now. And then Walt Disney was actually fired from one of his first animation jobs at Kansas City Star in 1919 because he lacked imagination and had no good ideas.
Wow.
Can we talk about that for a second? I don't know about our travelers, but I'm sure there's a plethora of us that have a Disney Plus subscription now. So kind of hilarious.
Wow. Somebody got that wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last one I wanted to share was Elvis Presley. He's one of the most influential singers of all time. His influence was enormously important to both rock and country music, but this iconic singer also was rejected early in his career. After the performance at the Grand Ole Opry, the concert hall manager told him that he would be better off driving trucks, which was what his former career was. I think
people get it wrong. Hey, Rita, are you listening to this? People get it wrong.
People get it wrong. That is...
People get it wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, if you guys are listening and you have somebody in your life, my husband calls them crabs in the bucket. If you've got somebody in your life that is telling you you're not good enough, you can't do it, you won't do it, this is examples that's just not true, right? That's not true.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what. And can we all just start like cheering for each other a little bit instead of being so negative?
Yes,
I
I'm
don't
on
know.
board with
I'm
that.
going to get on a soapbox.
Well, I'll let you get on your soapbox to tell us where the rubber meets the road.
All right. Well, this one is near and dear to me because I see as a coach and as a manager of people, leading people, rejection stops us from doing so many things. And I wanted to start off with telling you guys, these are some of the ways that fear show up. So ways fear of rejection show up in business: procrastination. When you're procrastinating, oftentimes there's a fear there. So think about that. Lack of follow-up, there's a fear there. Creative avoidance. You guys know what that is? Creative avoidance is where you are busy doing unproductive things to be busy. Okay? Creative avoidance is huge. And if you really think about it, it's fear-based. You're avoiding something, so you create something else to do. And excuses are nothing more than fear, afraid of something. So if you've got any of those going on in your life, we all do. If anyone has one of those, you've got to ask yourself, stop and say, hey, why am I procrastinating? What am I afraid of? Right? And by the way, you can have fear of success. So there is you really want to unpack that. So understanding rejection here, see rejection as is a temporary setback, not a reflection of your worth. This is so critical, right? If you are rejected in sales or in life, period, by someone, it doesn't mean you're worthless. It means they weren't ready. They're not interested. They're having a bad day. They're not a great person, maybe, right? It's about them. And, when I go back to my story, those gentlemen were, you know what? They were afraid of me. They were afraid that I was going to prove it could be done. And by me doing it meant that somehow in their minds, it diminished them, which wasn't the case. But their fear made them reject me. Now I'm thankful for it, but think about that, right? So it had nothing to do with my value, my worth. And I know in sales, we get rejected. I know that. It's part of it. Matter of fact, a rejection is a no, which is a good answer. No means, okay, I'll go get more. So the importance of resilience. Resilience is a superpower, by the way, in sales. And I always say this is an Athenaism, but don't get your emotional needs met in sales, right? That's not where you want to do it. Your emotional needs do not need to be met in sales, because buying behavior of your clients and your leads, that determines what the person is going to do, not if you're good or not. Okay? I want you to hear that. As long as you have a good sales system and you understand the buying behavior, the client is going to follow their buying behavior. That's really important. It's not really about you. It's about you being there on their journey. And we need to be resilient. We need to get up every day and realize part of sales is just keep going forward. When we get setback, we were just laughing with a friend of ours who owns her own business about how complicated. I mean, Jada and I on this coaching business, we are scaling it and building it. And it's not for the faint of heart, is it?
No.
It is
It's
not.
hard work.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And Jada and I both have to continue to be resilient. We have to adapt. We have to try new things. We fail a little bit and we succeed a little bit, but we're not going to give up. Giving up, I don't want you to give up. Giving up is the worst thing you can do, right? So use rejection as fuel. But here's some strategies I want for you. One, strategies for building resilience, right? You must have a mind shift. You must have a mindset shift. Your shift in your mindset of seeing rejection as failure to viewing it as just a stepping stone. So I need you, when you're rejected or you have a failure, look at it as only learning. It is not a reflection of you. It is not a reflection of your abilities, your competencies, anything like that. It's just getting you one step closer to becoming the person you need to be to grow that dream that you want. This is really important. And right, so number 2, we must learn from the rejection. One of the things that I really hope that you guys do is every time you have a good colossal failure, and I hope you have them, because if you don't have failure, you're not growing, okay? And you're not pushing the envelope. When you have those good colossal failures, what I want you to do is write them down, dang it, and write what you learned. First of all, that does 2 things, and I really like my coaching clients to do this. Write it out, because it gets it out of you, okay? It allows it to become, instead of this thing that's feeding this insecurity, it comes out on paper. You get it out, and then you just write, okay, this is the colossal mistake I made, but now I'm going to learn from this. What are my lessons learned, right? Now, if it's a really bad one, I've actually had clients, Jada, where I've had them do this, where they wrote out their big colossal boo-boo, right? Their failure. And I had them write it all out and then crumple it up and throw it away so we can mentally be done with it, right? Just mentally learn from it and dump it. So that's really important. 3, you have to develop grit. And I know it's what's interesting right now in our society is a lot of people are like, hustle's bad, grit's bad. That's not the case. You got to have some grit. Life is hard. If you're going to set bold, big, audacious goals and stay focused to your vision, you're going to have some grit. This building a business that you are doing right now, it requires grit. It means sometimes you don't feel good, but you got to be there anyway. It means sometimes everybody else is out having a good time and you're working. Sometimes it means on a Saturday, you're loading up everybody in your car. We do this sometimes, and we got to go work, right? I can't tell you how many times I've had to load my daughter, Savannah, in the car. I'm like, Mama's got to work. You got to come with me. It's grit. It's the ability to get through it. So think about that. And by the way, how you develop grit is by allowing yourself to be in uncomfortable positions and getting through it. And I'm just going to tell you, when you get through them, you'll be so proud of yourself. You'll be so proud of yourself. Number 4, get support. Surround yourself with people, with coaches, mentors, peers that are cheering you on. You know, you have to be around people that are telling you, you can do it. You are smart enough. I know it's hard, but you got this. You need that support structure. And you need those people that allow you to cry on their shoulder sometimes. I mean, that's true. Sometimes it's hard. And sometimes you just need to go on a walk with a friend and have a good cry or scream or whatever you're going to do, and then let it go. That's one of the things I do. I have some amazing friends, and my girlfriends and I will go on a walk. And on the walk, we are able just to let it all out and get ourselves right and move forward. So surround yourself with support. Get yourself some support. And number 5, and this one, Jada, I'm not great at, and I'm not going to lie about it. Self-care. Remember you matter. Now, this is one that I consistently struggle to make a focus. But you must prioritize your activities, the things that recharge your spirit, recharge your mind, your body. These things are critical. So, and I'm going to be very transparent with you guys. Just this last week, I went to my therapist, highly recommend therapy, by the way. And she and I were talking about a number of things going on in my life right now. And she said, Athena, you must have a goal of something that you really love, that is a prize for you, that after you get through, for me, it's the next 90 days. When you get past this next 90 days, she's like, you need a reward so great that you post it on your mirrors and you just look at it and know that that's your reward. That's your self-care. That's how you're going to have the grit and the discipline to get through the next 90 days, because you know mentally that you have this reward. You know what's interesting? I left her office, Jada, and I instantly already felt better. I felt lighter. I felt encouraged just having this visual image of this reward I'm going to give myself. And for me, I'll just tell you, so you can follow me on social media and about, see if I actually did it, but I will. It's my favorite place to recharge is Carmel, California. And so that for me is my recharging place. And I can hike in Big Sur. And so I put up a picture yesterday on my mirror because that's what's going to get me to have the grit and focus that I need for the next 90 days. So think about little tricks like that. That's what my therapist, give yourself a reward. And for me, that trip is motivating to me. I can even, when I get stressed, I'll just close my eyes and I'll imagine what it's going to be like sitting on the beach with my coffee every morning. And I'm like, okay, I can do this.
I can do this.
So I know anyway, so I want you guys, this is about building resilience. So mind shift, change, learn from your rejection, develop grit, get some support, and take care of yourself. And let's start using rejection as fuel instead of it stopping us from achieving what you were meant to do in life. You're worth this. You can do it. And Jada and I want you to know you can do it. We believe in you. Jada, what's next?
Absolutely. Well, as this is the last episode of this season, don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening so you can join us next season. Be notified for next season as Athena brings real talk and real strategies. And then in the meantime, we want to invite you to join the Success Revolution. It is our weekly blog fueled by relationships, referral, and revenue, where you'll get those weekly growth strategies straight to your inbox to help you take control of your sales, your revenue, and achieve your full potential. So we'll make sure to link that in the show notes below. But we hope you guys have enjoyed this season, and we can't wait to see you again next season. Bye for now.